Hello, everybody. How are you guys? How you doing? I am feeling so much better, and so is Mello. I am so sorry about last Friday, guys. I ended up getting the coronavirus. So I was like, oh man, I was able to escape from getting this virus for like since the beginning of the pandemic. And on last Monday, when I went to work to swap out a laptop, I not only came home with a new laptop, I came home with the virus. So I was really bad last Friday. But guys, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. And we are back on the roll. So we got all our Fridays back, and I missed you guys a lot. And super thank you to my sister Nancy, who, I kind of pressured her into doing a live last Friday, guys. Because she was nowhere ready to do a live, but I think she did an awesome job. So, and I kind of told her, I said, you got to get your feet wet. You got to get your feet wet. And I think she did okay and stuff. So, guys, and thank you so much for all the prayers and everything. So I hope you guys can hear me, because here I am talking and stuff like that. And I don't even know if you guys can hear me and stuff. Okay, awesome. I'm still a little hoarse, but that's okay. All right, guys. What are we going to be talking about this Friday? Okay, now that I am back, we're going to be talking about 21 things that went through my mind when I was thinking about safety regarding sewing and embroidery. 21 things that we need to be thinking about, so that we can make sure that we can continue to enjoy our sewing, enjoy our embroidery, and be safe. Okay. So let's start it off. But I know there are a lot of people on here on the chat, and let me go through the 21 things. Okay. And I see Oz. Oz, congratulations. He got his multi-needle machine. I know he posted that he's waiting on FedEx for his machine. Very happy for you. Please make sure you post a picture of you posing with your machine, okay? So, I just saw your name out there. So anyway, I am going to go through the 21 things that went through my mind when I was thinking about embroidery and sewing safety, okay? Now, if you guys have something that you guys do, or kind of do on a regular basis to keep safe and all that while you're embroidering and while you're sewing, make sure you put it in the comment section, okay? So that way we can all share, okay? Because this is just my little thing of the things that I think about. But hey, I mean, some of these things I'm going to mention is stuff that I've actually learned from some of you guys that watch me too. Okay. So I just want to make sure to share all this stuff with you. Okay. Now let's start it all off. Okay. Number one of the things to help you stay safe is to start slow, take your time, and don't rush whenever you're sewing and whenever you're embroidering, okay? Just stay focused. Don't hurry up and rush. When you're hurrying up and rushing, that's when you put your fingers where you shouldn't be putting your fingers. That's when you actually pick up something in a way you're not supposed to pick it up, and then you end up cutting yourself or something. So the one thing that I say is just enjoy it and go slow. Okay. Numbers two. And I have my little list over here. Okay. That's why you kind of see me going on the side. Okay. I'm just going to hold the list. Okay. All right. Keep your eyes on your work. That's number two. Okay. A lot of times, I even do it too. Okay. I'll be sewing, and then Carlito will come in and he'll be like, Ma. And I'll be like, what? What? And I'm sewing and stuff. That's another thing. So, go slow. Number one. Number two, keep your eyes on your work. Okay. If you have to take your eyes away from the embroidery machine or away from the sewing machine, stop. Just stop. Okay. Because what's going to happen is sometimes when you take your eyes away from the embroidery machine, you can accidentally, you remember when you're embroidering, the machine's going chi 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 chi, it's going real fast and everything like that, and your hoop is moving and stuff. And sometimes you just want to watch and you want to make sure that the fabric is in the right place and that the needle is hitting correctly and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to like have it going and then all of a sudden you're going somewhere else and then next thing you know you mess up. Okay. So that's number 2. All right, let's go to number 3. Okay. Always unplug your equipment. Whenever you're changing needles or you're doing something to your machine, okay, turn the power off. Seriously, because what can happen is, and I've done it, where sometimes I'm changing a needle or I accidentally hit the foot pedal or something like that. And then because I have the machine on, next thing you know, something happens and I can accidentally hurt myself. Okay. So turn off your equipment if you are doing something particular to the machine and you don't want any accidents and stuff like that. Okay. The other thing is number 5, store cutting tools properly. And what I mean is make sure, and let me show you guys, okay? What I'm talking about is, you have your scissors and you have your rotary cutters and all that kind of stuff. Well, sometimes you'll have certain scissors, especially when you're embroidering, right? When you're embroidering, you're using scissors that are like really, really like super sharp. Even scissors that you use to cut fabric and stuff like that. Sometimes these scissors, they come with coverings on them, right? Like this one has a cover, right? Okay. Now, these are like super, super sharp. Okay. These are like the curved scissors with applique. And what happens is there's a reason why you get is some of these scissors that are like super duper sharp. There's a reason why they give you these little covers. Okay. It's so that you can just put them on there. And when you go to grab them, if you go to grab them really quick, you're not going to accidentally poke yourself with these. Okay. So I have my Karen Berkeley scissors. They all come with these covers, but I am going to tell you these scissors are super sharp. So it's like you know, if I don't have these on here, and let's say sometimes, you can accidentally put them down somewhere, and as you can see, and let's say I have the pointers up. Okay, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to storing your tools properly. Okay, make sure that when you're not using them, cover them, and you don't store your tools in such a way that when you go to grab them that you can hurt. Like sometimes some people will have like a little cup. This is a little messy, but a little cup like this. Notice how I have my scissors going down. Okay, I don't have them like this. I don't put them in the thing like that. I put them down like that because that way it's safe for me to just grab them through the handle and I don't accidentally poke them. Okay, so that's what I mean by making sure that you store any cutting tools properly. Okay, also, this is number 6. You pissed off. Okay, you're working on something, you pissed off and going your way, walk away. Don't fight it. Okay. Sometimes it's just not your moment. It's not your moment to sew. Maybe you need an hour or something like that. Okay. Stuff just not working out and stuff like that. You know why I say walk away? Because when you're forcing it and you're frustrated, you're really not thinking clearly, okay? Because you're mad, okay? At least that's how I get. I get mad, and I'm like, oh, this sucks, and all that. And then I'm trying to force it and everything. What you're doing is you make a bad situation, it could end up being worse. And you're not sometimes thinking correctly. And then what ends up happening is you end up doing something you shouldn't do. And then next thing you know, you can accidentally hurt yourself, okay? So if you're pissed off, okay, because something's not going your way, just stop, walk away. Walk away, cool off, and then when you feel good, then come back and say, "All right, fine. Let's continue on from there." Okay? So that's number 6. All right. Now let's talk about number 7. And this is when I said caution hot. Okay, when you are embroidering and you're sewing and you're working on certain things, there are certain tools that you use. Okay, I have a hot knife. Okay, this hot knife is something that I use a lot. Okay, when I am working on patches. Okay, when I embroider patches, and also when I'm embroidering hats. Okay, what I do is I plug this in, and this gets really, really hot, and I do this to burn off the tails of the back of the embroidery, and also I use this to also burn the side of my patches. Okay, just so that it's more intact, it doesn't unravel and stuff like that, right? These things get super, super, super hot. Okay, be very careful when you're working with this stuff. Be very careful about the folks that are around you, how you're working with it. You don't want to burn your table. You don't want to burn your hands. You don't want to burn the actual items that you're working on. Okay, because after you spend all these hours embroidering these patches, the last thing you want to do is burn them the wrong way, right? So be very, very careful when you're dealing with your hot tools. Okay. Make sure that you're very, very careful that you don't accidentally burn down your house or accidentally burn down you. Okay. Number 8, let's keep the equipment in good repair. Okay. Sometimes you got to remember these embroidery machines, these sewing machines, they're machines. Okay. Just like your car, you have to take it in for maintenance, um, you got to put your oil, you got to put gas in a car. Well, on machines, on the Brother SC1900, you don't have to put any oil in it. However, though, it is recommended that you do an annual maintenance on that machine. Um, so every year you should go and you should take it into a sewing shop and just have them do the annual maintenance. Now, believe it or not, even though you don't personally oil the Brother SC1900, when you do take it in annually, and if you were to ever sit there and watch, and I think probably me, I'll ask Justin if I can videotape him the next time he does the maintenance on the SC1900 so you guys can see. They actually oil the machine for you, because what they do is they take all the coverings off of that machine. So it's like the machine is just sitting there naked, and they vacuum the inside to make sure that, even though you're not supposed to use the air can, and we all say we don't use it, um, Justin could sometimes tell that I kind of used it a little bit. Okay. So they go in and they vacuum any type of lint or anything that's in there. And at the same time, he is oiling areas that you normally can't get to, because when we use our machines, we don't take the whole covering off the machine. Okay. But the maintenance folks do, and they get access to all the moving parts of the machine, and then they go in and they oil it for us. But the thing is, it doesn't need to be oiled all the time. So what they, when you take it in every year to get it maintenance, that's when they go ahead and they oil it. So make sure that you have your equipment in, maintaining your equipment and everything on an annual basis at the very, very least. Okay. Um, Number 9, keep your hair out of the way. Okay. Sometimes, a lot of us have long hair. And, sometimes what happens is you will be sewing and your hair will go down. Trust me, your hair can get caught, okay, and stuff like that. And then sometimes also, if you have an embroidery machine, and let's say you have long hair and you turn around, and somebody grabs your attention and you turn around real quick and you say, "What?" and your hair just flows underneath the embroidery machine, it can happen. Okay. I mean, I know you probably were like, huh? I'm like, yes, it can happen, especially if you have very, very, very long hair. I always like to wear my hair in a bun because, I don't like messing with my hair all the time. So, but just something that I need to throw out there, because some people do have long hair and some people don't, you need to be aware to put your hair away from your face so that it doesn't get in any of the stuff that you're working on. Okay. All right. Number 10. This is something that you see a lot of people do in certain videos, okay? And I'm every time I see this in a video, I'm always like, "Oh my god, they are really really taking a chance." When you are sewing, do not sew over your pins, okay? Even though sometimes some people go real slow and they sew over a pin, you're really taking a chance. Your needle could hit that pin and it can snag that pin in half. And if it does, that pin can go flying. And if it goes flying, it can get into your eye, or it can, just fly and hit the floor or something like that. And then it's going to be very difficult to find that piece. And you don't want to accidentally step on it, or you don't want your pets to step on it, or your children and stuff like that. So, I mean, I see it all the time. People are always like, showing people, oh, you pin this together. When you're sewing, as soon as a pin is close to your pressure foot, remove the pin. You don't need the pin in there anymore. The whole purpose of the pin was to keep the fabric pinned together. And right now you are real close to your pressure foot and you're about to sew it. So it's not going to move, right? So why sew over the pins? So don't do it. It's a really, really bad habit. And why take the chance, right? Okay, now number 11. Let's listen to your machine. We all know what your sewing and embroidery machine is supposed to sound like, okay? When you first got it, that is one thing that you start to learn as it starts to work. You know exactly how it sounds, okay, when it starts to sew. When you see that it's not sewing correctly, like for instance, one of the things that I tell people is sometimes they say, "Oh, it feels like it's knocking on something," like knock, 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 right? What is doing that a lot of times is that your needle is dull and you have to change your needle, okay? I know that people sometimes, even myself, sometimes I'm like, oh, I got to change the needle, and what goes through my mind is this is money. Think about it. You have to change your needles. Needles get dull. And if you are sewing with a dull needle, what's happening is you are piercing your fabric and you are making bigger holes than are necessary on your fabric. It's really not going to look good on your embroidery design, okay? And also, it's not going to look good on your sewing projects either. So, don't be cheap, okay? Because I know I am. But if you have to change your needles, make sure you change your needles, okay? Listen to your machine. You know what it's supposed to sound like. And as soon as you hear that the machine sounds a little funky or something like that, that means that you either have to do maintenance on it or you have to change your needles. So make sure that you're always paying attention to that machine, okay? Number 12. And let me tell you, I got a story on this one, all right? Don't put pins in your mouth, okay? I have a story. I don't know if my sister's online right now, but she will probably crack up when I say this, okay? This happened to me when I was about like 8 years old. I got a hold of my mom's sewing pins, and on the screens, on the windows, the pin had a little ball on it, and I was putting the pin on the window screen, and then I started pressing against. I put my face pressing against it, and I would like blow in, and I would catch the pin with my mouth. Why the hell I was doing that at the age of 9? Don't ask me. Okay, I guess I was bored. All right, because we lived in apartments back then. Okay, so I was kind of bored. So next thing you know, I blew too hard and I actually swallowed a pin. So I ended up at the hospital, and thank goodness that the pin was going down my system head first. Okay. So I didn't have to have surgery or anything. I just had to pass my pin. Mellow. Okay. So I had to pass the pin, thank goodness. And I did. But, I see it all the time. People are always, and I see Mellow, stop. People always putting pins in their mouths. And I think about that. It's not, you don't put the pins in your mouth. You can accidentally swallow it, or you can accidentally, pierce your mouth or your tongue or something like that. Just don't do it. Take the pin, find a place to put it. pincushion, something, okay? Just away from the mouth. Don't do it, okay? I mean, you see people do it all the time, especially I think the older generation. Because I remember my mom pinning stuff, and she would take a whole bunch of pins and put it in her mouth, and then she would take one pin at a time, and then she would pin fabric. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay, where did I go? All right. 13. Watch your fingers, okay? Be very, very careful where you put your fingers. We all have seen the pictures of people on Facebook saying, Great, I had an accident. I saw one lady, she had posted a picture of her finger, and it had an embroidery needle pierced right through the finger, and she had to go to the emergency room. They had to remove the needle. Um, that looked like it hurt. It has never personally happened to me, but I know that it can happen. Okay. Because I've heard people say, some people say, oh God, I was sewing, and next thing you know, the needle went right on my finger. Okay. Put your fingers where they're supposed to be, never in front of the pressure foot. Never, use stuff, okay? Use pointers and all that kind of stuff and everything. Remember, I tell you guys, chopsticks. You want some pretty chopsticks, go to the store and buy a set of real pretty chopsticks and use this, okay? If you have to like hold, put your fingers near the needle area, don't put your fingers there. Use this. Take, look, this is the stick that you get for free when you buy the polyfill filler for pillows, the stuffing for the pillows. This is the stick that comes in there. Don't throw it out, save it, okay? You can use this to hold stuff. Buy a nice little chopsticks. You don't want to buy chopsticks? Okay, well, the next time you order Chinese food, ask them to give you some chopsticks, and they give you those wooden chopsticks, okay? Use that, okay? I also have this thing, and this is for quilters and stuff. It has like something in here. I bought these because on my Cricut machine, I was rolling flowers, okay? In the Cricut machine, you get to cut out these flowers, and it's like it has a little slit. You put the paper in it, and then you can just roll and stuff. Next thing you know, I can make little roses, paper roses and stuff like that. Use stuff like this. Don't use your fingers, okay? Because your fingers, you need them, okay? You need your fingers, all right? If the needle's gonna hit anything, let the needle hit the chopsticks or something like this, okay? Not your fingers, all right? So just be careful, watch your fingers, okay? Now, the cutting tools, okay? Handle your cutting tools. This is number 14. Handle your cutting tools with care, okay? Rotary cutters, your scissors, your seam rippers, okay? Seam rippers usually come with a cover. Where are my seam rippers? I have seam rippers. See, seam rippers come with a cover. Just like I was just mentioning about the scissors, if you have a pair of scissors and they come with the cover, keep the cover with the scissors, okay? Because you don't want to accidentally poke yourself with these things, okay? So, seam rippers, these are very, 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 very pointy, okay? So when they come with these covers, try not to lose these covers. Try to keep them with your seam rippers. Always put them on whenever you're not using them, because if, like, let's say sometimes I'll just take this, right, in my little rolling pin, and then I'll just like throw it in there like that, right? And stuff. But I have the cover on it, right? So no matter how I grab it, I'm not going to pierce myself with it. But if I don't keep this on here, okay, and I throw this in here, and let's say I just go and I go to grab something, I can accidentally pierce myself. So always, always, always keep your covers for your scissors, for your seam rippers, and then let me go over here. Rotary cutters, okay? Rotary cutters is something that we love, okay? We love them because they help us cut our fabrics really fast and everything. Some of these rotary cutters have a lot of safety features. Like this Alpha has the little red lock thing. So that way this won't come out. Okay. Whenever I am, and then you can release it, when you press the button, but then you go the other way and then it'll just do the thing. Whenever you're not using your rotary cutters, always make sure that when you finish using it, put the safety on. Okay. Always put the safety on. You never want to not put the safety on because you don't want to accidentally cut yourself. All right. So, let's see. Irons. Let's talk about irons. Irons are hot, just like the hot knife. They're hot. Okay. Make sure that when you are using an iron, you don't leave them unattended. You don't want your house to burn up. Just like, this can burn up your house too if you leave this unattended, and you're not watching it, and then next thing you know, it could light a fire with a piece of fabric, and then there goes everything, right? So the same thing with an iron. When you're not using your iron, turn it off. Okay. Like I have the Panasonic cordless iron. I like having a cordless iron, and I remember once someone had mentioned to me they don't like the one that I use because they say it has an automatic shut off. I personally, I love the automatic shut off. Okay. I prefer for that iron to automatically shut off, and I'll just turn it back on if I continually need to use it. Okay. Because I think it automatically shuts off if I remember correctly, I think it's every 10 or 15 minutes. If you haven't used it in 10, 15 minutes, it'll shut off, something like that. I don't mind turning it back on. Okay. For the simple reason that I like the safety feature. To me, that's awesome and it's cool. Some people don't like it, but me personally, I do. So, but when it comes to your iron and hot tools and everything like that, never leave them unattended. Always make sure that you are there and you're watching. And when you're not using it, turn the sucker off. Okay. I am down to number 15. They're going pretty fast. What time is it? Let me see. Oh, okay, half hour. Oh, I'm on time. Okay, cool. Because then at the same time, then I could chit chat with you guys, and we can talk to see what safety you guys have. Okay, number 16 is watch your surroundings, your pets and your children. Very, very, very important. Okay, especially like with me, Mello loves to be in this room whenever I am embroidering and whenever I am sewing. He has a habit of always taking his nap in front of the embroidery machine right when I'm ready to embroider. So I have to scoop him away, but I always have to remember he's in the room. So whenever I am dealing with sewing and I'm doing something like working with my iron or working with my hot knife, or if I'm sewing and I have pins, if I'm on my multi-needle machines and I have to change my needles or something like that, I have to remember he's in the room, and I have to make sure that I know exactly where in the room that he is, and be very, very careful of what I'm doing and make sure that I don't drop a pin. Okay, and then he runs in and gets it, or something happens, or he runs, and the hot knife that I have is not cordless. Okay, so there's a cord. So if he's like right on up under me and I have this hot knife and he moves, and he could accidentally knock down the hot knife and burn him, burn me, or accidentally burn something in the room. Okay, so you got to be very, very careful of your surroundings. Be aware of that. Think about the project that you're working on, the tools that you need, and those that are around you. Okay. If you have to me personally, I don't use a hot knife when he is here. Okay. I do not like using the iron when he is here either. Even changing my needles on the multi-needle machines, I do not do that if Mello is in here. Because the thing is, even though I am aware of where he's at, I can accidentally drop a needle. And if I accidentally drop a needle, sometimes needles can be difficult to find when you drop them. Okay. I mean, you hear it, but sometimes they bounce. And when they bounce, next thing you know, right in the area that you think you dropped the needle, it may not be. So I don't like changing my needles when he's in the room. I don't use hot products when he's in the room either, because I know that the dog's here and I don't want to deal with that. Now, a lot of times when I have to change the needles, what I will do is I will scoot him out of the room and I'll close the door. Of course, he's going to be a little annoyed and you hear him whimpering and all that kind of stuff. But, and then he must know I'm talking about him because there he is. See, that's Mellow. And I don't know what he's looking for, but he knows I'm talking about him. See, so as you can see, he whimpers at the door, but I'll change all my needles, and then when when I'm done, then I'll let him back inside. Right, Mellow? Because we want to keep you safe. You want to stay safe? Yes, you do. He's too cute. Okay. All right, Mellow. All right, so let's see. Okay, that was 16. Watch your surroundings, okay? Number 17, store your pins smartly, okay? Now, there are different ways to store, uh, sewing pins and all that kind of stuff. Now, I want to show you guys how I store mine. I'm going to scoot over here, right, Mello? No, honey, I'm not going to play with you, sweetie. I just want to show people something, okay? I'll play with you later. I'll play with you later, okay? All right, so I have tried a lot of different things regarding sewing needles, okay? And let me show you some of the other stuff that I've had. Just so that you guys can see. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, did you have this? You sure did. You're not going to break this from me. Okay. All right. No, Mello, this is not for you. Okay. These are like little pin cushions and stuff, but as you can see, I don't use them. There's a lot of different things that people use with sewing sewing needles, okay? And stuff. Mello, go over here. Sit. Sit. Can you sit? Can you sit? Can you sit? Oh, what a good boy. All right. So when you're sewing, oh, he's not gonna sit. Okay. So when it comes to sewing needles, there's a lot of gadgets out there for you to use to use it. Like some people use pin cushions and all that kind of stuff. Those things are pretty cool and they're neat. Okay. The thing that I don't really like about the pin cushions that work for me, and I'm going to take a needle here. Mellow. Okay. All right. Okay. And one of the things that I don't like is with pin cushions. If you see when you put it in, I don't know if you can see right here. See right here? They can go all through. Okay. See? So it's not exactly to me like the safest thing. It's not, now of course these are the ones that you would place on a table, right? And then you would just go ahead and you can put it like that. And it's okay. It's all right. The thing is though, to me, okay, and I have them and stuff, but I just really don't use them much because one of the things that I really like and that I found that really works for me are these. These are the magnetic trays. And as you can see, I have a bunch of pins on here, okay? And they don't fall off. And what I really love is when you're sewing and you're done, you can just drop it in and it just, they're magnets and they actually like hold on to your pins. So to me, I feel that these are the safest because it keeps things really nice and neat. And there is strong so that your pins don't really go anywhere, okay? I just like it. I just do. I mean, this is just something that I really, really like. So to me, pins is something that you use a lot. You use it when you're embroidering and you also use it when you're sewing because when you're embroidering, sometimes you'll have something that you really need to like maybe tack it down on the hoop. Maybe, you have it on the tearaway or cutaway stabilizer. And sometimes you'll spray temporary adhesive on it and you lay something down on. but at the same time, sometimes you just really want to like put a pin on it so that you can make sure that it's nice and snug. Well, to me, those magnetic dishes are really like the best way to go. And I was just at Walmart today. You can get them off of Amazon, but I don't they don't have the best price. And as you can see, he's already trying to get for this little thing over here. Stop. Okay, so I don't think Amazon has the best price for these things because you're kind of like paying extra for that shipping and all that stuff. Um, Try Walmart. I was at Walmart today and actually saw those magnetic dishes for only $2.97. Okay, that's in Virginia. So, if you know, me, I'm all about saving money and stuff like that. So, $2.97 for that is not a bad price at all. So, I like those to store the pins. Okay. So it's really a good thing to invest in for me. Okay. Another thing, okay, and this probably ain't really gonna cost you much anyway. Um Pill bottles. I got this idea from someone that watches the channel. I forgot who it was. I think it may have been Miss Banks or something like that. Old pill bottles, okay? When you are changing your needles, right? And you need a place to throw away your old needles. Um, you know, it doesn't even have to be one like this. It could be um an old Tylenol bottle or something like that, or a little old jar, whatever, right? Use these to throw out your old needles. Okay. So usually what I'll do is I'll just tell my husband, hey, don't throw out your pill box, give me about 10 of them, right? So he'll give me 10 and then I'll keep them here. And whenever I'm changing my needles on all of my machines and stuff, including the Serger and the Juki and all these machines and stuff, I go around and every week or 2 weeks, I'm always changing all my needles. Okay. And what I usually do is I put all the needles in an old pill bottle. And then what I'll do is usually I don't toss it out right away. I'll wait till this gets a little heavy and stuff. And then I'll just take this whole thing and then I'll throw it in the garbage. Okay. The reason why I really like doing it this way is because when you buy the needles, they come in these little foil envelopes, right? And they come in a little box. Um, you could put them back in the paper and the foil and throw them out, but to me, I just feel like they're really not that secure and safe because it is paper, right? So you don't know when you throw it in the garbage what else is going to be thrown in the garbage, and when you go to tie the knot and toss it out, somebody could accidentally be picking up that garbage bag and then can prick themselves with it. As if you were to go and you would take it and put it in this would really make the needles more secure, so you can throw this in the garbage can. It's not going to hurt anybody and stuff. You don't no one's going to get hurt, and it's nice and safe. So yeah, so this is the best way to me that I found to store old needles that you want to discard. Okay. So yeah. All right, so that is 17. All right. Oh, 18. Okay, I already said 18. All right, but I'll say it again. Maybe I should, this was really 20. Okay, so I have here as 18 your rotary cutters. Oh, well, talk about number 19 is rotary cutters too, but it's a little different perspective on the rotary cutter. Okay. Now, this is to, I had lock your rotary cutters when you're not using them. Number 19 is make sure that you change your rotary cutter blades when they are dull. Okay. Same thing with the needles. Needles get dull. You have to change them out. These blades get dull too. You have to change them out as well. Okay. Oh, thanks for the super chat, Marlene. I appreciate that. um, Thank you for the directions on the napkins. Oh, you're very welcome, Marlene. Anytime you need help, you can reach out. I got you, girl. And so, okay, what was I saying? Okay. She distracted me. Okay. Blades. Okay, these blades get dull, okay? And I'm gonna tell you something, it can be very dangerous if you're using dull blades, and I'm gonna tell you why. When you are cutting your fabric, okay, one of the things you want to do is you want to have a nice clean cut, right? So you just take this and then you just go shoop and then you just want it. Well, sometimes when it's dull and you go to cut your fabric, you're not going to get a clean cut. So what's going to happen? You're going to try to redo your cut and you're going back and forward and you can get into big trouble with that. Another thing, because we are talking about rotary cutters, I wanted to show you something that I came across, which I thought was pretty neat. And I purchased two different suction cups, and I'm gonna tell you what to do with the suction cups. Let me grab a ruler here because I want to show you how to use these. You're gonna like this. Okay, now you guys know I'm a big fan of Eve, the baby booty, of the baby booty. Okay, love her channel. Let me tell you, I love that girl. She has, she doesn't even know it, but she really is a mentor to me. Okay, because I love watching all her stuff, and she gets into so many different types of crafts and all that kind of stuff. And she is really, really sharp in always like, the way she does things, right? So I was watching one of her videos, and a while ago, she did a very common thing that a lot of us folks do, which is when you are using your rotary cutter to cut your fabric, you accidentally almost cut your finger off. That happened to me twice, and I saw it happen to her, and she did a video on that too. And I think she actually had to get stitches. Okay, I was very fortunate when it happened to me. I didn't have to get stitches, but let me tell you, it can really, you could end up having a fear of rotary cutters, because then every time when that happened to me, every time I had to cut fabric with the rotary cutter, I was like, oh, great. So it can really get to you, right? So and I didn't even open it yet, but I'm going to open this with you guys. She was cutting, I think she was cutting, it wasn't fabric. I think she was cutting transfer paper as she was using her rotary cutter, because I think she was working like 100 shirts or something like that. And she was using this. Oh, there's extra. Oh, this came with stuff. Yeah, but I'm going to return this. I'm returning this though, because I found something that works for me. That came with something else. This is suction cups. Now, the way that she was using this, and I'm going to see if I know how she did this. Okay, I guess this is, ooh, wow, okay. Woo, almost hurt myself. These are suction cups, and she would put this on the ruler. And then what happens is, this is how you hold your ruler. And then what she would do is she would take her ruler and she would place it on whatever it is that she was cutting. And then she was taking the rotary cutter and then she was going like this. Okay. Now, without using this, a lot of times what you do is you have the ruler, and you're holding the ruler with your hand. And then what happens is sometimes you're trying to hold your hand with your hand, and sometimes your finger can accidentally be on the edge. And then when you go to cut, you cut your finger. Okay. So when she had this, I thought this was neat, because what it is let's say you make a mistake, you get distracted or something, you go like that, you're not going to hurt your hand because your hand is on this handle and you're going like this. Now, why am I going to return this? Well, first of all, I don't really use very, very big rulers, right? So I kind of felt like this was a little overkill for me, but I wanted to get it just so that, because I was like, oh, that's a neat idea, right? And all it is suction cups. That's all it is. But when I started looking at other products that are out there that are very similar to this, okay, and you just clip this back. And these are not expensive, okay? If I remember correctly, this was like $15, something like that. Not expensive. So for me, It's not a bad price, okay? This also it was like $14 or $15, and look, it even came with a measuring tape inside. But like I said, I think I'm gonna return this because it is big and I really don't need something that big. But let me show you what else I got. And I was like, it's just as good as this and it's gonna work. Okay. These are these other suction cups that I got off of Amazon. Okay. And it comes a pack of 2. Okay. And they were pretty inexpensive. I believe these were about $8.99, something like that. Okay. Now the reviews were not that high. Okay. But I said, let me just try it and see. Now I'm going to tell you something. These open like that. Okay. And then I'm going to take the ruler and then I just put this in. And then what you do is you just lift up the handle. And then look. So it's the same concept as this big one that I had. Okay. It's the same concept. But it was pretty. I like that it's smaller, it's more compact, and then I can just put my hand on here, control the ruler, okay, and then I can go ahead and I can just cut, okay. So I thought this was pretty good for the price, not as bulky, okay. And then when I'm done, just take it right off. And and it came with a lot of cute colors. These are the blue. I saw them. I think they had it in yellow. They had it in green. I think purple too. Really cute colors. And I thought, oh, this is really cute. It comes with a set of 2. And I thought these would be really neat to put on the rulers whenever I'm cutting fabric, because I do use my rulers to cut fabric a lot. So no. So you just, like I said, you just clip it open. You put this on the ruler and then you just snap it, and it's a suction cup and holds your ruler. And I thought this was pretty neat. So I don't know why. It had okay reviews. It wasn't like a full 5-star, So I was like, okay, let me order it, because that's one of the things that I do like about ordering from Amazon is you can order something, you can try it. If you don't like it, you can always return it, right? So that's what I said. Let me just order it. Let me see. And as you can see, I kind of like these. So I kind of like the small ones. The big one is okay. I just think that this is a little bit too much on the bulky side for me. I don't really need. I don't have rulers that huge, but yeah. So these are little gadgets that can really help you cut your fabric safely while you're using your rotary cutters. Okay, so these are pretty neat. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so I already said. You know what? I think I keep jumping all over the place. Okay, number 20 I had as how to discard your needles safely, and I guess I jumped in it too much. This works. Okay, this is the best way to do it so that you can get rid of the needle safely. Also, 21 was chopsticks. Okay, which I kind of already told you guys. Use chopsticks. Don't put your fingers under the needle. If when you are sewing, make sure that when you have your hands positioned by the pressure foot, you're putting it on the sides of the pressure foot, not the front of the pressure foot. If you have to fix something in the front, that's when these sticks are your friend, okay? Because God forbid something happens, let the needle hit the stick. Don't let it hit your finger, okay? Because that will hurt, okay? So, guys, those were the safety tips that I have. I am going to now go through the chat and say hi to you guys. And I got to tell you, I really missed you guys last Friday. I really did. It really sucked that I got sick, but Nancy did a really awesome job on her first slide. I was proud of her. I really was, I thought she was going to faint, but she did good. She did really good. And it's like I was telling her, it's just one of those things. You got to get your feet wet and just do it. Just do it. You're not gonna you gotta try. Just try. Even if you fail, so what? So what? Big deal, right? I mean, it's that's just how it is. It's just like sewing, right? You you're sewing a project, and sometimes you think the bag's gonna look great, and then when you're done sewing whatever it is that you're sewing, a bag, a pencil case, whatever, it doesn't exactly come out looking like what it's supposed to. But you know what? You gave it a shot and you just get better in time. That's all it is. So, but I'm really, really proud of her. She did it. And I thought that was like so awesome. So you guys can check out that video if you get a chance. I mean, she did a really good job. I was really impressed. So I am going to go down the chat, guys. Could not find my mouse. So I am going to be using my mouse pad and stuff. So let me go down here and get comfortable. And let's see if you guys have any tips that you guys use or stuff like that. And what did you guys think about the tips that I could have shared with you guys? So I see Miriam on there. Hey, Walk by Faith. Hey, Trisha. Yeah, I am feeling so much better. Hey, Robin. Hey, Judy. Thanks. Hey, Sassy. Hey, Miss Max. Hey, Jane. How you doing? Hey, Robin. Hey, Renee. Hey, Karen. How are you? She did do a good job. Yeah, Nancy's she's getting used to it. She's really getting used to it. I can't wait to see live number 2 from Nancy. Hey Norma, how are you? Hey Kathy, how you doing? Hey Jody. Don't you dare apologize for something you have no control over. We're just glad you're okay. Ah, Miss Max, thank you. I just never want to let you guys down because I've been doing the embroidery happy hour for over a year and I never missed a Friday. Never, 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 never. And I'm not usually one that gets sick. And when this virus hit me, I was like, "Oh my god, this is bad." It was really bad. I contracted it on a Monday, felt like a little sore throat, and then got really bad. And by Wednesday, I had chills and I was like, "Ooh, this is really bad." So I just took myself to the emergency room and I was like, okay, I need help because I don't know what is going on. And I felt really bad for my husband because, you know, of course, this is like so highly contagious that even though they threw me in the basement and all that kind of stuff, I'll admit, I kind of snuck upstairs, and I shouldn't have did that because next thing you know, he got sick too. Um, and poor Mello was looking at us like, "What is wrong with you people?" So, but we're everyone's doing better. So we're ready. We're back rocking and rolling and stuff. Hubby's okay. I'm okay. My son was smart. He dodged. He went to Richmond. He said, "I gotta finish moving out of my apartment." So he dodged, but he's doing good too. So yeah. Hey Ozzy, how you doing? Ozzy, you're gonna have to post a picture when you get your multi needle machine in. And so, hey Tina, hey Amy, hey Grace, how are you? Hey Eartha. Yes, Nancy's live was so awesome. Hey Alicia, how you doing? Hey Cheryl, I see Wilma, Iris. Hey Barb, how you doing? Hey Marlene. Marlene, thanks again for the super chat. I appreciate that. Hey Luli, how you doing? Did you slip? Oh, Joni, yeah. Did my supervisor enjoy the quiz? She did. She really did. Everybody really loved it. They were really shocked at how it came out. They were like, "Oh, that is nice." But I have to admit, her favorite was the dinner napkins because unfortunately, her and her family lost everything in a house fire a couple of years ago. I think it was about like 2 or 3 years ago, the family had a house fire. And when they had the house fire, one of the things that you don't realize is when your house burns down, never happened to me, but it was just, listening to her, you lose so many memories, because sometimes what happens is you don't realize the keepsakes that you have. So she talked a lot about, old family photos and stuff like that. So one of the things that I was thinking about was when I made her the quilt, I thought about, all the memories that she had lost in the house fire with her family. So I created her dinner napkins, and I put the little note of, this is so that you and your family can start creating new memories. So that really, I think the dinner napkins touched her more than the actual quilt. But yeah, I mean, she did love it. Everybody loved the quilt. Her thing though was the dinner napkins. She fell in love with those, and stuff. So I was really glad that I went that extra step and made the dinner napkins for her, because I really, I saw that she really liked it and stuff. Hey, Robin. Um, oh, Cheryl, I tested positive for, oh, COVID last night. Oh, Cheryl, man, drink a lot of water, get a lot of rest. I'm telling you. I slept a lot. I slept a lot and stuff. I hope you get better soon, Cheryl. Stay strong. I really need a good pair of sharp scissors. Hey, sure. And make sure you get covering. And this is another thing too. All scissors, like, sometimes when you get the Frisco scissors are pretty sharp too, and they don't come with coverings. You can sew your own coverings. Okay, you can make them. Okay, and probably what I'll do is I'll do a video on how to make them, and then I'll make different sizes so you guys can see how I do it. You create little coverings for them, okay, and stuff. But yeah, a good pair of scissors. And let me tell you something, Cheryl. And I think one time at one of the happy hours, I showed you guys all the scissors that I have. Okay, it's really funny because when you are sewing and you're embroidering, I'm like watching Mello because he decided to take a nap right under me. When you're sewing and you're embroidering, you have a scissor for everything. Okay, you have a scissor for your fabric, you have a scissor for your embroidery, you have your scissors for applique. um, you have scissors for so many different things. I just have to watch him and stuff, make sure he's not getting into anything. um, and the thing is, I quickly learned that you don't just buy one pair of cute scissors and you can use it for everything. Every scissor has its own particular purpose. Okay, like if you take a pair of scissors that you were using to cut your fabric, and all of a sudden you take those scissors and you decide to cut paper with them, well, guess what? When you go to cut fabric, it's not going to cut the same. Okay, you just dull those scissors. So um yeah, I mean, and scissors can get pricey too and everything like that, but investing on a good pair of scissors is key. um Rule of thumb, yes, walk away, yes. And my girlfriend Robin, she used to be my boss a long time ago. She's retired now. She's the one that gave me that advice, because I remember it was the order, and I even did a video of the 36 shirts. It was my first big order to embroider shirts, and the shirts were snagging underneath the machines because I wasn't using the right stabilizer, and at that time I didn't have the hooping station either. So I was really, really struggling. And I was so pissed and I was so mad because I was ruining shirts and everything. And Robin was like, she told me, walk away, just walk away, walk away. And she goes, does the guy, is he picking up the shirts tonight? And I'm like, no. She said, walk away. Because she's like, you're pissed, you're mad. And when you're pissed and you're mad, you're not, you go through your little emotions and stuff, and you're not going to be hooping as carefully as you should be. You're not going to be paying attention to the colors that you're setting on the machine. It's just not, you're not in that mood. Your zone is off. So you just walk away until you can get yourself back together, and then you go in and then just proceed. That's really the best thing to do. It happens to me. It really does. And sometimes, and sometimes it happens in the most freakiest times. Like I'll wake up and I have orders that I have to get done, and I wake up and I'm energized. I had my coffee, my toast, and I'm like, okay, let's get upstairs and start working, and turn on the machine, and something happens. And it's just, and then I try to fix it, and something else happens, and then something else happens. And the next thing you know, you're pissed. So I just got to walk away. What I tell myself is, I go, okay, well, maybe I'm not going to be working this morning. I'll try again in the afternoon. And you just got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But and that's when you make mistakes, and that's when you can actually hurt yourself, and it can cost you more in the end, because you just weren't focused. It really throws your focus off and stuff. Hey Sharon, how are you? Oh, thanks, Bernadette. Yes, as you can tell, I am back. I feel like me. I really do. I am back. Oh, hey Iris, question for you. Could you also use soldering iron? It's the same as a hot knife. Oh, yes, you can. I do have a soldering iron. I have something. It's like a little. It looks like a hot knife, but then it has like a little flat iron on there. You can use that also. Yes, you can. Um, you can use that for patches, and you can also use that to burn off the tails and stuff. I prefer to use the hot knife to burn off the tails inside of hats when I'm embroidering hats and stuff. Um, like I have seen Harmony, like in some of her videos, she'll take a hat and she'll like light a torch, and then she'll just go shoot shoot like that on the hat. I can't do it. I'm afraid of fire. Can't do it. I could see myself go shoot shoot. The hat goes up in flames, and there goes the house. Okay, so I don't have the guts in doing any of that. Um, so it's not my thing. So yeah, but you can do that. Um, let me see. Maintenance for the SC1900 is not cheap. No, it is not, Ozzy. It is not cheap. How much do I spend? I think I spend about $300 a year on the SC1900. Now, the maintenance on all my machines every year, I have to budget about. This year, I spent $700. Justin came, and what did he do? He did my surgery. He did one, two, three. He did 4 machines. He did 4 machines. So next year will be more, because next year he's going to do my Juki as well. So maintenance on embroidery machines, sewing machines, sergers, you really need to do it. I mean, this is how I look at it. I mean, you spend a lot of money on these machines, right? And these are machines that you use a lot. Okay, you use them to sew your clothes, you use them to sew things that you sell, and all that kind of stuff. You need to invest to make sure that they're up and running, and because what's going to happen is, if you don't do that, the machines are going to start having problems, and it's going to affect the products that you create. It really truly is. Okay, because if you don't get your machine, sorry Papa, if you don't get, and he did get to something. Okay, if you don't get to do the maintenance of the machine, you the last thing you want is for the machine to act up when you're in the middle of an order, or you're in the middle of working on a project for a gift for someone, or working on something for a customer. That's the last thing that you want. You don't want to, you don't want your machine to start acting up. So to prevent that, okay, because machines do break. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that if you run the maintenance that it's going to be flawless for the whole year. Okay, things happen. All right. Sometimes your needle threader will break. Or sometimes a sensor will go off, or something. You know what I mean? So my whole thing is, just do the preventive maintenance. So that way you have at least minimize the problems that you could possibly have with that. But no, you are right, Ozzy. Maintenance on not just that C1900, on all of them, they are not cheap at all. Let's see. Hey Cheryl, I was wondering the cost of the maintenance. Yep, $300, and that's exactly what I spent too, Ozzy. It's about $300 a year to get the machine maintained and stuff. It's not a pretty picture that you're painting, Jeanette. Oh, I always take care of my rings. I do not want my ring to get caught in the hoop or under the needles. Yes. And that's a Joan, that's a very, very good thing. I did not think about that too. When you are sewing, and it's not just rings either. Sometimes people have bracelets, and bracelets are sometimes dangle a lot and stuff like that. Be conscientious of the stuff. Like I don't really wear a lot of jewelry. I do wear my engagement ring and my wedding band. But sometimes, I do have my moments where I take them off and I just put them away and stuff. And I, me and my husband don't wear anything. But I know a lot of people sometimes they like to wear a lot of jewelry, a lot of rings. They like bracelets and all that kind of stuff. Be conscientious of your jewelry when you're sewing and you're embroidering. Also, you don't want that to get in the way of anything as well. So, Joan, thanks for bringing that up. That's a really good a good thing to think about. Hey, fabulous, how are you? Thank you. Um, or pin could jam your machine. Yes, the pins can also jam your machine as well. So, um, when you're sewing, I see it all the time too. I see sometimes people when they're showing you how to make something and everything, they pin the fabric and they put the fabric underneath the machine and they just sew right over the pins. And I'm like, oh God, that's so dangerous and stuff. Even though I know that they slow down the machine and they're going slow, don't do it. Just don't do it. It's a really bad habit. Just don't do it. Miss Max, the project you're about to share. Oh, okay. I have different hair problems. At my age, my hair just breaks off, land on the table, on the machines. Yeah, a strain was sewn into my project. And yeah, I mean, but I'm serious. It happens. It happens, especially if you have long hair. You got to be very, very careful with your hair and stuff. Um, hey Sharon, how are you? Oh, this is so scary. I use the pin in my mouth no more. Yes, and oh, hey Nancy. Yes, true story. I guess Nancy heard about the story. I don't even know. I know Nancy was a baby. Nancy was, I think my sister was about maybe 2 or 3 years old. Or maybe she was 5. I think she was 5 because if I remember correctly, Nancy was singing and dancing for the doctors at the hospital while I was getting x-rayed and stuff because she was and I used to think that Nancy was probably going to end up in the entertainment industry because she always used to dance and sing for people. But I remember I I went like this to the screen. I went, and I would catch the pin, because the pin, and it wasn't like this. It was those old pins that had the little ball on the edge, and I would like go like this, and then I would catch the pin in my mouth. I don't know why the hell I was doing it. I was just bored, and I blew in too hard and it got stuck in my throat and I was trying to get it out and I couldn't, and next thing you know I swallowed it. And then I was like, when I swallowed it, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, should I tell my mom or should I not tell my mom? And and even though you guys say my mom's nice, but she's a very cranky lady, let me tell you. So I was kind of debating if I wanted her to know that I swallowed the pin or not. And when I told her, I remember my dad was going to have dinner, and when she understood what I said, my father and everybody was like, oh no. So everybody got in the car and to the hospital and stuff. It was so hilarious. Well, I mean, we laugh now, but but it was terrible. You know, but I see people put pins in their mouth all the time when they're sewing. And I even remember my mom doing it too. When she was sewing, she would take a pin and put it, press it on her lips and her mouth. But every time I see that, I think about what happened to me and how I blew it in and I swallowed it. And yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you. Um, let's see. I need a neat. Oh, see, Deb. Hey, Miss Hennings. She put a needle through her finger last week. My embroidery machine out. See, and it happens. Miss Deb. It happens. I seen it because I mean, and people have to go to the emergency room. And there was one lady too, and she said that happened to her twice, and she said both times they had to actually like take pliers or something and just pull it out. And I don't know if they stitched her up or something because it is just a thing. But the needle went through her nail, through her, and it was like through her nail and out the other side of her finger. And I could only imagine the pain. And yeah, I mean, you people sometimes think it won't happen. It has happened. It's really really something you got to be careful about. Hey, Barbara. I use small magnetic wand to help find pins that fall on my carpet. Also, that's a very good. You know what, Barb? Now that you mentioned that, I'm thinking about maybe what I need to do is invest in a second one, and I can use the second one in case I do drop something and to help me find the pins. That's a really good idea. I like that. Also, paper between the needle and the base to keep it from falling into the base is a very small magnet. Can get to the base if that would happen. That's a really, nice tip. What Barbara is saying is, when you're working on your sewing machine, or even if you're working on any of these machines, take a piece of paper and put it underneath the pressure foot. Then change out the needle, because what happens is when you loosen out the needle sometimes is going to drop. And if it drops and you don't have a piece of paper there, then what will happen is it's going to fall inside the machine. Okay. Now, sometimes when it falls in the machine, it kind of like falls in halfway and you can kind of grab it. But there could be time when maybe it won't fall in halfway and it'll fall in all the way. And the next thing you know, you're going to have very difficult time trying to get that needle out of the base of that machine. So putting that piece of paper underneath the pressure foot is a very, very, very good idea. Barb, thank you so much for mentioning that. And also mentioning about the magnetic tray serving as a wand. And this is the other thing too. These magnets, they have two styles, and I don't know if you guys are aware of it. They have this style, which is, it's just a little dish where you go ahead and you just put all your pins. I've also seen these where they have it with a wrist, okay, so that you can put it around your wrist and then you can put the pins in there. So that probably could be a very good alternative for those folks that were used to putting pins in their mouth. Instead of putting it in, maybe you put it in your mouth because you just need it to be very accessible, right? So that, and you're afraid that if you have the dish, you may put it on the end of the table and then you have to move it and stuff like that. Well, maybe if you have the one that you tie around your wrist and it's magnetic, you have the pins right there on your arm. So when you are moving your arms around and stuff like that, your arm is always there. So all you have to do is just take it and then pin. And then when you don't need it anymore, just take it and then put it right back on the magnet tray that's wrapped to your wrist. And I've seen those. I've seen those on Amazon. Maybe that's the next one that I'm going to buy. I'll probably try that and put that on. Because I have seen that and stuff. Hey, Miss Max, where I put all my pins. Yes, and I really do. I love the magnetic dish. I think the magnetic dish is really really good and stuff. Because it's much neater. I mean, like I said, there's so many other pin cushions out there. But a lot of them are mostly like fabrics like this, and usually what it is they put crushed nuts inside of here, or they'll put like white rice or something like that. And these are cute and they're very fashionable and everything. The only thing is they're when you stick the needles in, I just feel that they can stick out on the other side. And it's just I don't know. I mean, it's okay, It's just I just prefer the magnet tray. I don't know. I just think that they're neater. They'll keep everything intact and stuff. That's what I kind of like about it and stuff. Let me see. They are great. Got the tip from the embroidery nurse. Let me see. Oh, let me. Great advice on the chopsticks. Okay, I have two. One for the sewing machine and the other one for the embroidery machine. Yeah, I'm gonna have to invest in another one and stuff. Let's see. I have the same iron as you, Jeanette. I also unplug it when I'm done in the craft room. Susan, I never unplugged mine, and I think I'm going to start doing that because you just never know. You know what I'm saying? You just never know and stuff. Hey, Robin, I have a childproof lock on my sewing room door so the grandbabies can't get in without adult supervision. That's a very, very good idea, too. See, we don't have any babies here yet, okay? When I'm going to be a grandma, I don't know. I don't know. Carlito's got time. Well, he's only 22. He's going to turn 22 this year, so he's got time and stuff. Because I had Carlito late in life. I had him at 32. Yeah, because I could not get pregnant for the life of me. So I had to actually have surgery to have Carlito and stuff. So that's why when I tell people when people used to babysit my son, I used to tell them better be please be careful with that kid because I had actually to pay for him, which is true. I had a receipt, So yeah, but he turns 22. And the way Carlito's going, I think I'll probably be in my 60s. Well, no, 60s or 70s for having a grandkid. Knowing Carlito, he's slow when it comes to that, which is good. Which is good because that's not something that you want to rush into. That's one of the things that I always tell them. Let me see. Betty Proc. Hey Bart, I purchased a Betty Crocker. Bleh, I can't read today. Okay, double-ended spatula, rubber end from the Dollar Tree. It's small and it help hold the fabric while the machine is running. That's a good idea too. I did not think about that. She uses a spatula to help feed the fabric into the machine. That's a pretty good one. I like that. I just did a baby blanket. That's 100% polyester. What everyone does to keep the stitches visible without sinking into it. I use 2 tearaway the bottom and one's on top. Okay. Hey, Marlene. Okay. When it comes to certain fabrics, okay, when you are, if you have a lot of fuzz that's on top of the fabric, okay, to keep the stitches from disappearing inside, usually what I'll do is I'll add knockdown stitches to the design. Okay. Now, it also, if you don't want to do the knockdown stitches, look at the type of fonts that you're using. Sometimes you don't want to use thin fonts because the thin fonts is what's going to actually sink more into the fabric. Okay. So use thicker fonts. Try to stick with fonts that have a thicker design, and if also try to, if you can, add knockdown stitches. Now, if I don't, if you have in Brilliance, the module that you would have to add knockdown stitches would be the Enthusiast module. That will allow you to add the knockdown stitches to designs and also to fonts as well. Okay. Um, hey Pam. Hey Grace. Broke nail once. Yep. See, things happen. Things happen. Hey, Debbie, how are you? He got a haircut. Yes, he did. Oh, he broke something of mine too. Where did you get that from? Oh, Mel. Wait, hold on. Mellow. All right. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. All right. So, uh, I think this was one of my threads. All right. Thank goodness it's the color black. Okay. And I have lots of spools that are black. What is this? Is this a spool that you just mellow? Yeah. Ah, okay. This is okay. So much for this sewing thread. Okay. Thank you, Mellow. All right. I'll have to buy another spool of black. I can't believe him. Look at that. This is the look that I get. Right, Mellow? Mellow. And he still has thread all over him. So I'm going to have to untangle him because he has some thread. Look at this. Terrible. 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 Mellow. Oh, what am I going to do with you? All right. So I'll just have to buy a new comb of black thread. That dog. I tell you, he's a trip. All right. Let me see what else. Syringe container where I put my needles for diabetes. There you go. I use suction cups for my rulers. Yeah, and there's a lot of different suction cups that you can get with handles. If you were to do such suction cups for glass or something like that and search through Amazon, you can even get something through Lowe's or Home Depot and stuff like that. I thought these were a really good buy, and I really like the colors that they came in, and I like that it came with 2 in a pack. So I thought that was pretty cool too. So, yeah. Now like I said, E from the baby boy, she was using this big one, and it's just too big for me, and I don't need something this huge. Okay, this is way, way, way too big. Even though I do like, the fact of the handle, but if they had these just a little smaller, then that would have been better. But it's just too big. My rulers are not that big, so yeah. I'm still going to toy around with this idea and see if there's a use that I can have for this. If there's a use, then it'll stay. But if there's no use, then it has to go because I'm not going to pay for something that I'm not going to use. That's just how I see it and stuff. Let's see. Let's see what else we got out here. Hey, up the Eartha. Yep, she says she uses the suction cup with the handle when using the ruler. Got mine from the dollar store. Oh, there you go. The bathroom section for. There you go. That's another place to get it from. Awesome. See, you guys, Walmart. There you go. Yeah, sometimes you gotta be careful, guys, because sometimes even though Amazon it is a great place to buy things, it really is. Okay, you can find anything that you're looking for. All you gotta do is do a search, and it's there. Okay, and then what I kind of like is you get a whole different variety. But the problem that I sometimes have is sometimes I feel like you do overpay for some of the things when you buy them off of Amazon for the simple fact that you're buying for that convenience. Okay, like the other day I wanted to buy a dish drying rag, okay, and I looked on Amazon, they were like $20, and then I go over to Walmart, they were like $5. So I was like, of course, cancel the one from Amazon because it's a dish drying rag. I don't need to spend $20. I'm fine with the $5 one. So I just say, Um, let's see. Late the light. Hey Lynette, how are you? Hey Shirley. Trying to read here. Let's see. They do sell long wand and circular magnet. There you go for small size, small spaces, larger gap. Got them off of Amazon. Yep. Okay. My husband got me a gadget that he uses when fixing cars. He drops screws, rolls, and it's like a magnet. Yep. Everybody loves those magnets. I'm telling you. I had an accident last week when a screwdriver fell inside the groove of the machine base, and I used a small magnet wand, and problem solved. Oh, awesome, Juanita. That's like so cool. Um, Let me see. He was a little too quiet. He sure was, Iris. I'm telling you. I don't have the enthusiast. We'll check. Yeah, the enthusiast software, the enthusiast software is really really good. It allows you to not only just add the knockdown stitches, it also allows you, I believe that's where you get the options for the multi-positional hoops as well and stuff. Um, yes, Ollie, I have heard of the candle thread and I have an order with them. And I am going to try them out. I had ordered I ordered some of their thread and I also ordered their color cards as well because I wanted to see. And yeah, totally agree with the price. The thing that I found though, Ollie, was when I first went to order from them, I just wanted to do the cards, right? And just a couple of threads. And I think my order was about like 30 something dollars, right? But then the shipping was almost another 30. So I was like, what is up with that? That's a lot of money on the shipping. So then I found out that if you order from Candle Thread and the minimum order, it has to be $100. If you order $100 or more, then the shipping is free. So to me, I was like, okay, that's reasonable. I can do that because when I order from all stitch, they have, I think their minimum order is $150. Okay, which is why whenever I order from all stitch, if I need to buy stuff from them, I always make a list, and then when I have $150 worth of stuff that I have to buy from all stitch, that's when I place my order so I don't have to pay for the shipping. But I will probably be doing the same thing with Candle Thread also. Now that I know that $100 is their cap, then I'll just make sure that I list all of their the colors that I need and whatever, and then I'll order from Candle. But I did order their color cards as well, Ollie. Um, I heard good things about them too and stuff. And the prices are not bad. It's about like it's like 4.75, $5 a large spool of thread compared to the Madeira brand, because the prices for those threads are really really going up. And this is the thing too, when the cost of your supplies go up, the cost of the things that you offer for your customers, they're going to have to go up as well because it's going to bite into your profit and stuff. So I liked Madeira thread, but the thing is, it's getting to the point where it's almost, I think it's over $10 a big comb now. And I'm like, I don't know about that. That's a lot of money. Um, and I only buy certain colors in the big combs. I like buying the small sets because sometimes what happens is there's certain colors that I just use some of the time. I don't use them all the time, okay? Because it depends on what kind of designs the customers want. Now, if there are designs that I offer a lot, like I do embroider a lot of items with the Puerto Rican flag and all that. I use a lot of browns. I use a lot of reds. I use a lot of blues. I use a lot of the greens, like during the Christmas time. Those Christmas colors are very, very popular because a lot of times people would like to order dinner napkins with the Christmas wreaths. And also, I do sell the gift bags, and a lot of times people like to embroider the gift bags with their children's name on it. And a lot of times they're looking for those Christmas colors, right? Gold is another one that's very, very popular with dinner napkins and Christmas. So for those type of colors, I always order the thread in the real big spools. But for there's certain colors like a light green, or some of the purples, and some other types of blues and stuff like that, like a light blue and everything. A lot of times those I kind of keep in the small, unless like I said, because I don't use them that much, so yeah, that's how I do, and stuff. Let's see. Do they have smaller suction cup dinghies? These are the smallest that I found, and these are okay. These are okay. I mean, I'm sure they got smaller ones and stuff, but this size seems to fit really well for me and stuff. I followed your advice and I got an accountant preparer. She is awesome, learning how to use QuickBooks and process all my bit. Oh, that's so cool, Marlene. And it's gonna make things so much easier. And another thing that I can tell you about the business side of it, Marlene, is try to set aside 1 day a week for your administrative side. Okay. Fridays is my day. Okay. So because it's really hard. That's the thing. When you have an embroidery business, a lot of times people think that it's, oh, you're just creating items and you deliver them, right? There's a lot of housekeeping that goes into running a business. You have to keep track of all your expenses, you have to keep track of all your travel, you have to keep track of all your invoices. Whenever I go to Walmart, whenever I order things from Amazon, whenever I go to Joann's or I go to Hobby Lobby, excuse me, or order things from my embroidery machine like hoops and stuff like that. Mm. Went down the wrong way. Excuse me. Um, you got to keep track of everything. So it's sorry. Mm. I choked with. Excuse me. Uh, woo. Well, I think it's time to go. Sorry, guys. Sorry. All right. Yeah, you got to keep track of all your expenses, and that's really, really hard to do. What a way to end the night. Okay. Uh, yeah, they do have a lot of colors, so I can't wait to get the color cards from them. Um, yes, Ali, thank you so much. I did find out about them. And yeah, I mean, because if you really think about that, it's a big savings because to get one big comb for the price of, really think about it, Madeira is about $10 or more now. And if you could get two big combs for the price of one, that's a big, big savings. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end up going more on candle thread than anything else. I may end up not buying Madeira anymore because it's just getting too much. It really is. It's just too much money and stuff. Drink more water. Take deep breaths. Okay. So you gotta listen to Crafty Puerto Rican because she's a registered nurse, so she knows her stuff. I think so. Yeah, Ali, but I totally agree. And I have to also look at, because I know that candle thread is a really good place for threads, right? Because you're talking about close to $5 for a big spool. That's a really, really good price. I have to also look at, think about our expenses, not just threads. We got stabilizer that we're buying. Blanks, and I keep telling you guys, the blanks. Really look at, if you guys are really into like making stuff to sell and all that kind of stuff. Um, really look at those websites like Alabama. I know I'm saying it wrong. It's Alabama or whatever, or AliExpress, dhgate.com. That's where I get my baby blankets from. Okay. I know a lot of you guys come out and say, well, Jeanette, I don't need 50 or I don't need 100. But my whole thing is, this is how I look at it. If you have a Etsy shop, and let's say that you're selling the baby blankets, right? You can get, the minimum is 50, right? And they have all these different colors. Okay. They have the white, they got the white with the pink trim, they got the white with the blue trim, they got the navy blue trim, they got a solid gray and all that kind of stuff, right? And the thing is, the minimum you buy is 50, right? So, all right, so what I would do is I would say, well, buy buy 5 or 6 of every color you want to sell your baby blankets in, okay? Because this is how I look at it. When you go to buy these baby blankets, right? Like, I know there's a place on Etsy and they sell them for $13.99, right? But the thing is, if you buy 50 of them, you can end up paying $9 a blanket instead of $14 a blanket. So I would buy the 50. Blankets don't go bad. They're not going to go bad. Okay. What's the worst thing that can happen? Okay. You got 50, you have them there. Okay. And when somebody orders it, you know that you have a bigger profit because you only spent $9 on that blanket. Okay. And then you go ahead and you embroider it and you sell it. The worst thing to me that can happen is that you don't sell all 50 blankets. Okay. Well, you can also look at it from this perspective. Your friend had a baby, or your friend's becoming a grandma or whatever, right? Okay, well, now you don't have to go out and you don't have to buy a gift. Use one of those blankets that you bought, embroider it, and there's your gift to your friend. You know what I'm saying? you know it's just something to think about. It's something to think about. I mean, it's not for everybody, okay? Because some people are like, I kind of prefer, not have the inventory at home, and I got that. Because the thing is too, is you got to think about space too. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's just ideas that I throw out for people. Because one of the things, it's like I tell people when they ask me, oh, I want to buy a multi-needle machine. You got to do what's right for you, for your situation. You know what's right for you. You know what I'm saying? You know what machine is going to work for what you want to do. There's just so many different machines out there with so many different brands and all that kind of stuff and everything, different functionalities and everything like that. I always tell people, do your research, ask around, see if you know someone with the machine that you're interested in, see if you can play with it. Ask the questions about support and everything, because at the end of the day, the way I see it is, you're the one that's spending a lot of money on this equipment. So you want to make sure that you're purchasing something that you are comfortable with and that you like. The same thing like with blanks and stuff like that. How to run your business and how to do your blanks and all that kind of stuff. You're going to figure all that out. Okay. You learn from other people, but at the same time, you got to remember that sometimes when some people do certain things, that doesn't really mean that the way they do it is the right way for you to do it. Okay. Because everybody has their own way. All right. Like, some people prefer to just do their sales online and not take orders locally. Some people like to do both. I do both. But I will have to say, sometimes local orders are a little more difficult than the online orders. And the reason why is because you're dealing with people up front personally. I sometimes feel like you meet more hustlers, and I'll say it. You meet more hustlers locally than online, because online they place their order and then you do the product. But when you meet people locally, they always try to do stuff half. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'll pay you later and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, they get pissed off at you because you're like, oh no, we don't do that here. I don't work like that, you know? And it can get kind of sticky. It can get kind of sticky. So, because I've had those situations where, people will say, oh, I want you to do this. And I tell them up front, the payment has to be made up front. And sometimes what happens, they'll drop it off and then they don't drop the payment. And then I'm like, oh, well, you need to pick your stuff back up because I'm not going to turn on the machine for free. It's just, people play games and stuff, which is sometimes when people say I don't deal with local sales. I have to admit, sometimes I totally understand why people don't want to do it, because I feel like you end up with more of a mess when you deal with people face to face than if you was online. It's like everything is, they can, they see what you're offering, they like it, they buy it, that's it. Or I've had people email me and say, "Hey, I like what you have, but I'm interested in doing something else." Like a lady bought a hat from me and she wanted me to do the Puerto Rican flag with the Colombian flag. And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that." And then, I did the custom order, she paid the link, created the hat for her and shipped it out. No problem there. Sometimes when you deal with local sales, it's a hit and miss situation, and it can get ugly. It can get kind of ugly. So it just, you just got to be really careful. And the way I see it too is you got to be direct. You really got to be direct. And sometimes it can be unpleasant when you're direct, because what happens is sometimes people, they want to take advantage of you. And then when you just say, oh no, I'm not rolling like that, they're kind of taken back. And then next thing you know, it's like you're the bad person. Okay, because you stood up for yourself and said, "Oh no, you're not taking care. You're not going to take advantage of me." Because I tell them, I go, "Oh no, it's just like a car. Car runs with gas. These machines turn on with money. No money, no power. So yeah. Hey, Wilma. I think I went off on a tangent, didn't I? If you knew of another crafter you could split an order, you can. I've never done it. I've always worked on my own personal orders. I've never split an order with anybody. I kind of like to work solo. I prefer to do it that way. um it's just me. Hey Eve, how are you? How you doing? um Got my hot pads upstairs and I'm packing. I thought the party was over by night. I'm enjoying it so much. I can't leave. Oh, Wilma. um, okay, guys, I am gonna call it the night and stuff. Because I went off on a little tangent and stuff. I guess you could tell, I'm getting a little tired of the local sales. I really am. But it's okay. It's all right. I mean, it's it is what it is, right? So, guys, I am, like I said, I am back. I am feeling so much better. Thank you so much, everybody, for you know, all the prayers and everything, and all the support. I know you guys were thinking about me last week, and I really didn't miss you guys on Friday, because I really do look forward to these times, these Friday nights with you guys. It's always supposed to be embroidery happy hour, and I always end up talking more than an hour. You guys always just hang in there with me and stuff. But I really hope that you guys liked all of the little safety tips that I gave you guys today. And you know, and be safe out there and stuff. So guys, not back. Flight got delayed. Oh no. Oh, Eve. I guess Eve is stuck at an airport. Girl, do you need us to hang out with you at the airport? Because we'll hang out with you, Eve. In North Dakota. Yeah, that's right. Because Eve was at a conference and stuff. And I saw some of the pictures and stuff. And Eve, I would have loved to have gone and met you in person and stuff. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you right now, Eve, if I ever met you in person, I would probably have to take a moment and go, oh my God, it's Eve. Okay. And then I have to have my little moment. Okay. And I got to have a selfie with you because I'm like, oh my God. Because it would be like seeing a movie star, like, oh my God, it's Eve. I would probably like lose it. Like, it's really you. It's really you. Because I admire her so much because she didn't know me from no. I used to watch her videos and stuff. And, when I started to learn how to embroider, it was like I was hanging on every word that she would say. And I would replay her videos and watch how she would do things and replay them and stuff like that. So a lot of times, I owe a lot to what I know to that lady, to Eve, because she really helped me a lot. And I have so much respect for her because she actually takes her time to teach people. And it's like she gives back to the community. And I think that is so, so, so special. It really is. It's really special and stuff. So I mean, she will always I'm your number one fan, I think. Because I love watching your stuff. And then I watched her do the rhinestones. She does the rhinestones. I have not hit on that yet. Um, but I love some of the stuff that she does. And it's like, if she's good. She's really good at what she does. She really, really does. So my goal for next year is, hopefully, if she's ever at like a conference or something like that, I'm going to do all I possibly can. I mean, this year I got sick and stuff and I really couldn't do it. But that's going to be like one of my goals. Is I would love, love, love to meet her one day and just to say thank you, for everything. Because I mean, I think she does really good. So if you guys don't know her channel, if you guys don't know her name is Eve, and her channel's The Baby Booty, and she has videos on everything sublimation. She does sublimation. She does embroidery. She does sewing. Um, she does rhinestones. I mean, she does so many things and stuff. And she's good. She's really, really good. And what I like is that she's really, it's like so natural. She's like so natural, so down to earth. She tells it like it is. And she does the steps, step by step, step by step, step by step. I mean, I really, really like, so you guys really should check out her channel. If you don't know her channel, really check it out. I mean, and she's on usually lives on Sunday nights. She does a lot of lives and stuff like that. So, but I would love to meet her in person. Her and Lori Lummaker is another one that I love watching too. Those are like my two favorites. Every time there's a new video, I'm on it. I'm like, oh, what they doing? What they doing? I want to know. So anyway, but guys, I am gonna call it the night and stuff. And I see Eve. I'll be just as excited to see you. Aw, Eve. Girl, you're the star, not me. I'll be like, oh my God. I'll be like, oh my God, it's Eve. I wouldn't know what to do. So I would have to have my moment. Like, wait a minute, let me do my happy dance, and stuff. So, oh my God. But I hope you had a really good time at the conference, Eve, and stuff. And I know you must be exhausted and dying to just get home so that you can relax and everything and stuff. I do watch her too. Yep. Sounds like a trip to Charlotte. Oh, I'll drive out there. She's going to be in Charlotte in September. North Carolina? Oh, well then I got to find out because I'll take the drive out there. I definitely will. I'm just crazy of me. No one's special. You are special, Eve. Yes, you are. I want to meet Mello too. Oh, well, let me tell you about Mello, Eve. I don't know if you missed it, but while I was talking, Mello got a hold of my sewing thread. So right now, he is here in shame. He's in shame. So, because yeah, so now I gotta buy black sewing thread again because he got a hold of it and stuff. That dog, I tell you, he gets in everything, which is why I keep saying, like, one of the safety tips that I gave today was make sure you're aware of your surroundings and stuff like that, especially like kids and pets. They get into stuff, they do, they get curious and all that stuff. So I always have to keep an eye out on him and stuff. So, yeah. But guys, yes, Mello's a trip, Eve. He really is. Poor dog is in timeout. He is. He's in little, September 16th and the 17th. Oh, thanks for sharing your time with. Oh, Winnie, you're very, very welcome. So, guys, I am definitely going to call it the night and stuff because I know that there is more thread around the sewing room that I'm going to have to clean up. Because while we were talking, Mello was like walking all over the place with thread and stuff. So I already kind of like see it. He has a little bit on his paws, so I'm going to have to clean him out and everything. Bad dog. So guys, have a very, very good night. Thank you so much for spending Friday night. And like I said, so sorry about last Friday, but I know you guys understand, got sick, but I'm better. So every Friday, don't worry, moving forward, we got our Friday nights together for us to hang out. And, if you guys have ideas, questions, need help, or anything, just let me know. And, I've helped a lot of you guys out there, to do things and stuff like that. Don't be shy, just reach out. I can help you guys. You guys can find me on Facebook. You guys can find me in the group. You can send me a chat message. I have no problem with helping you guys out. If you guys have an idea of a video you guys want me to do, post it out there or reach out to me, ask me. I don't mind doing that and stuff because, like I said, I like helping people. So anything I can do to help you guys to sew better, embroider better, and everything, just let me know. And Oz, congratulations on your multi-needle machine. Please be sure to post a picture of you with that machine. I would love to see what you selected and stuff. And I want to see what you're going to be doing with that machine because I know that you really rock that single needle machine. I can only imagine the great things you're going to do with that multi-needle too. So, I mean, that is like going to be so, so awesome. So, guys, love you all. Eve, please get home safe and stuff. And hopefully, maybe you'll do another live tomorrow and stuff. But you probably be too tired. Maybe you'll take a week off or something. But I will see you guys later. And you guys have a great night. Please be safe out there. And please, please, please be careful out there. That virus is still out there. You saw it knocked me out last week and stuff. So please be safe and stay well. And I will talk to you guys later. So have a good night, everybody. Love you all. Bye.